Good morning and a huge welcome to today's session, which will focus on EU Business School. Now, all week we have been speaking and hearing from universities from all over Europe, mainly UK, but yesterday saw our first European partnership take their first webinar. So this is purely a follow-up really with EU Business School. They focus on 3 or 4 different campuses throughout Europe. And I think they're going to be talking to you specifically today about the Barcelona campus. If anyone has any questions or any concerns or any issues, please place it at the bottom or top of the screen on the chat or Q&A facility. And likewise, if you miss any of this presentation, it will be on demand. So please do head over to postgrad.com after the session and you'll be able to watch the full session on the website. A brief reminder about what's coming up. We'll have a presentation, a bit of information about postgrad.com after that. What will follow that is a Q&A live with today's guests, an opportunity for you to win £500, and what is coming up next, which will be the last session later on today. But for now, I'd like to hand you over to very friendly colleagues at EU Business School. If you'd like to come on at this point, I believe you've got your camera on already, so you can just share your screen and away you guys go.
Good morning. Thank you so much for this opportunity. We are really excited to share with you what it means to study at EU Business School Barcelona. We will talk a bit about all the campuses because EU Business School is international. We are based in Barcelona, Geneva, and Munich. But also, if you are everywhere in the world, you always have the opportunity to study digitally. So here you can see that the campuses are in the heart of the city. We are in a really nice and safe areas. And also it's really easily to arrive to all of them. Today I will be here also with one of our students from MBA program, Gala. And I would like to begin to telling you which are the reasons to study at EU. We are international. The 90% of our students, they are from around the world, and we have more than 100 nationalities. The classrooms, the groups are small, between 20 and 25 students per class. We think that each student, they have their own voice, and we want that you are changing your ideas with the others. So this is impossible if the groups are big. Expertising, experimental lessons, business learning. Our teachers, they have an amazing experience in the sector. And you will have the opportunity to learn through real study cases. And of course, the lessons are really practical, dynamic. We want that you feel confident and that you open and you show your creativity to the others. Everything is taught in English. Even usually our students, they speak 3.5 languages. We have really good rankings in that we need to be really proud in our postgraduate programs. Personality, we are building a business personality. Career services is involved, and they support our master and MBA students since the beginning. I already mentioned the expertise, the experience of our faculty. And of course, as we are in different campuses and there are some programs that you can do it in Barcelona, Geneva, or Munich, you have the opportunity to do one term to each place. I would like to ask Gala that she's here. I don't know if she can participate right now. I would like to know, Gala, why you choose EU Business School? Because here we can see we are sharing to our audience several reasons, and I would like to know your personal reasons.
Thank you very much, Arola. At this stage, I'd like to say a huge thank you for the presentation. It was a fantastic opportunity, and it was great to go through all the different information that was available. What we are going to do now is we're going to engage in a live Q&A with people that are watching live across the platform and on social media as well. Now, before we get going, welcome to our podcast listeners. They'll be joining us on our podcast channel. First and foremost, we've had a webinar from EU Business School focusing quite heavily on the Barcelona campus, but overall as an institution, what they can offer. Arola, I'll start with you in terms of the university itself. What is the preferred option? Obviously, you've got your EU campuses, but you can do the campuses or you can do the courses online as well, sorry. What would be the preferred option? And in terms of credits and how many you get, does it matter?
My preferred campus. I think it's really hard. I think the combination is amazing. So Barcelona, for example, it's the biggest campus that we have. We have more than 1,700 students. I'm from Barcelona, but Geneva, it's pretty cool. Geneva, well, Galash can mention you, is really close to Ghetto, in the heart of Geneva. And Munich, it's really nice. So Bavaria, I love Bavaria, and of course, it's also a really good city. So it depends. If you want like a bigger business school, then I recommend Barcelona. But if you prefer like to be in a smaller city, let's go for Munich or Geneva.
Gala, can I bring you in at this point? Because I think it's important from a student perspective to talk about, I mean, we were talking earlier that you've been in Switzerland for 10 years now. How does your experience differ? I mean, and how has that enhanced you as a person moving to Switzerland, doing your studies there? And how have EU Business School helped you with your development?
Well, firstly, I moved to Geneva. I moved to Montreux when I was 18, and I didn't speak English that well. I never studied in English in my life. Maybe like I watched TV shows in English, but all subtitled in Spanish. So like my actual, my native language is Spanish. And the first thing that I actually am very grateful for EU Business School is that they have these foundation programs that actually help you improve your English and actually have these this like at least a background on what you are going to be expected of for the bachelor. So it gives you a foundation, like the name says. It's a foundation program, and it helps you improve your English and make sure that that your English is correct for the bachelor and for the business world as well. Because it's not only grammar; it's more into like you're learning in the foundation. You're learning statistics. You're learning mathematics. And business courses as well. So like introduction to management, introduction to economics. So you have all of these courses that actually, that prepare you for the bachelor or for the master or MBA. So that is first, for me, that was one of the main things that really I'm grateful for EU. Now, as a for the past 10 years, I've been studying, and I've also done internships in Switzerland. So that contributes a lot with my professional development, and EU has helped me with that as well. So it's a lot of different small things that all together make you a better professional.
Okay. Arola, can I bring you in? You know, we just heard from Gala there about the English language side of things, how it was very difficult. We've had a question come in earlier about the English language requirement and IELTS tests. What is the minimum requirement? Is there a requirement? And how do you go about finding more info about that?
The minimum requirement is a 6.5. If I'm not wrong,
That's standard, yes.
For master and MBA, it's a 7. Now I'm confusing sometimes with bachelor, so maybe my manager, the head of the department that she's here, she can correct me, Irina.
Yes, I just want to introduce myself. Hello, everyone. Thank
Hi,
you
Irina.
for joining. Hi, I'm the head of the admission counseling department. I'm very glad that you guys are finding out information about your future that we can help with. And definitely for the MBA and masters, because we have different requirements for each program, you require an IELTS of 6.5. This is the minimum requirement. But of course, we have different types of solution, which is TOEFL IELTS or Duolingo or Cambridge exam as well. So those will be also acceptable as well. And just briefly to add to the previous questions regarding the campuses, I think also for the online campus, it's important that students who choose it usually have a full-time job, for example, or a family that they cannot leave on regular basis. So it's more, the campuses are more, we offer the same services, the same quality. It's more for your profile that will meet your needs. So what you really need. Do you need more a peaceful life with a chic and luxury croissants in the mornings? You go for Switzerland. If you need like more cosmopolitan, active life that can offer you a sea, a mountains, a lot of nationalities, you go for Barcelona. If you're more organized and maybe you like cold, you go to Munich. And also besides that, the Munich actually offers you a job-seeking visa after your studies, which is very famous among, for example, students from India, that they use this opportunity a lot. So it's really what you need for your profile, I would say, in terms of choosing the campus. And besides, you can transfer if the program is offered, like Gala did. She went to Switzerland to study first, then she came for one campus in Barcelona, then she went back to Switzerland. So it also helps you in that terms of flexibility of changing campuses, helps you to, as Gala mentioned, to see different cultures, to learn different cities, languages as well.
And really, does it matter where you study in terms of, so if you're interested in the MBA, will you only be given one campus to choose from, or do you basically say, that's where I want to go? I want to go to Munich, I want to go to Barcelona, I want to go to Montreux, Geneva, and I want to study that course. Do you have that choice, or is it a case of you study where the course takes you?
It's actually possible to study in different campuses. The only thing is that bachelors, for example, are 3 years, so you have more time to move. The MBA and masters are very short. So in that sense, you will need to also organize your life or book an accommodation in short period of time. So just be prepared of those changes that's going to happen quick. And of course, it's a different type of friends that you will build, different environment that you need to adapt. So if you're willing to do that, it's a possibility that you transfer after each completed term. It's not possible to transfer during the term, but after each completed, if the program is offered, it's possible to do it at each campus.
And are the results different at the end, so, or are they all the same? So it doesn't matter whether you study in Switzerland, Germany, or Spain, you will come out with the exact same qualification, with the exact same result on your piece of paper that says what you've achieved. Are there any advantages to studying at any of the different campuses?
Besides the advantages that I mentioned, like the job-seeking visa, maybe the cultural aspect, I think the diploma in terms of that case, it's the same. We also have like a top-up diplomas, but definitely there's some programs that are only delivered in certain campuses. So if you're interested in certain program, it's better to contact maybe your counselor to see what are your options of transferring. So that's when we contact the student and he mentions us that he wants to transfer, tell them, okay, what is your plan? Tell me your exact plan or approximate plan, and I'll let you know if it's possible, what are maybe could be the consequences, or maybe it could be the positive side about it. So it's definitely, we really need to know your plan before so we can guarantee, but if not, a diploma itself, it's the same, but there's some top-up things that you can do in different campuses or different majors.
Apologies there. There will be a lot of people will be watching this and will ask naturally about funding and scholarships and what financial aid there is to help them with their studies, especially if you're coming from other international countries. It can be a huge expense, a huge worry. What do you offer from a scholarship perspective and funding perspective to help students?
In terms of that, keep in mind that we're a private institution, so we don't offer a lot of scholarships overall, but definitely we have students who apply for their own government loan or their government scholarships, such students as from Sweden, Finland, Norway, for example. So we do support a third-party scholarships. We also have students who their company pays for them, because especially our master programs are just currently updated to more digitalized version, more up to date what's up in the market with the crisis and current situation in the world. So definitely sometimes students want just to take a class because it's not delivered nowhere else. We do have an early bird discount. This is what we can offer from our side, and we do support students who have an excellent academic CV or profile with an excellent English score as well. Also, it will require an interview. It will require, as I mentioned, an excellent profile to be qualified for this maximum 30% scholarship.
I want to talk about the internship as well. I know you mentioned it for the German campus, but for the Swiss and the Spanish campus, is there, not guaranteed, but is there good opportunities for internships at those campuses?
Definitely, especially in Barcelona or Munich, especially. Definitely, as Arola mentioned, our career services here to help you. So they provide the tools and support for you during your studies, of course. And after your studies, what our students and alumni do, they actually use a network as well of our alumni that help them to find, for example, I'm signing for our Alumni Hub, where we have 27,000 and more students who you can network during your studies and afterwards. And for example, a student yesterday put available internship not in our campus in Munich, but another city in Germany, which also helps you network worldwide. So it's not part of the program, but if you're interested, for the master and MBAs, the studies are during the evening. So during the day, it's possible to do part-time job, not full-time internship.
Okay.
And we provide support and tools.
Yeah, also around the 80% of our master and MBA students, they begin an internship during the second and the third term. At the end, as Irina mentioned, the studies are in the evening afternoon. So keep in mind that usually the companies, they work from 8 to 5 or 8 or 9 to 6 in Spain. So it's quite easily to combine both things. And that's true that our students, they take advantage of this opportunity. Also, we are doing a lot of networking events. Also, they count with career services in terms of to find internships. I always recommend LinkedIn because it's one of the best websites where to find internships, for example. But that's true that we have our own websites that it's privately only for our students. And several times the students, they only can find the internship offer through our website. Even in LinkedIn, you can find a lot of internships from really good companies and also entrepreneurs. Several times, some companies, they come to us and say, look, I want to recruit someone else for this position, or I want to have someone from EU Business School for this internship position as well, but in privately. So we want that you not select the students, but we want to receive only students that they have a good level of English, that they study with you, but also we need this kind of things. So even our students, they used to receive some emails related to their skills. So imagine that we have a company that they request, I don't know, for example, I know that maybe Mango, they request someone who speaks Arabic last year or 2 years ago. So at the end, okay, if you speak English and you speak Arabic, you will receive this job offer. But maybe if you speak Russian or you speak Spanish or you speak German, and a company asks us for a kind of profile, or even our alumni, they are receiving this kind of information directly to their email.
That's fantastic. I've got two more questions. The first will be aimed towards both Arola and Irina, and I will finish afterwards with Gala with a relatable question to a student, if you don't mind. So my first question is around accommodation. There will be a lot of people, I know you've mentioned it in the webinar presentation you've just done with us, Arola, but there will be a lot of people watching that I mentioned earlier will be anxious, concerned, and worried about how much things cost, especially in this modern day. Everything seems to cost so much. What is it like affordability wise? Yes, look, they're major cities, there's no getting around it, especially Munich and Barcelona. But how affordable is it? Do you live on campus? You know, how close are you? And because it might cost a little more, are you closer to the main social life in the cities?
Barcelona, we are located in an amazing area that you can arrive by train, by underground, by bus, by tram, and also we have several public bike stops in front of the campus. So okay. Honestly, it's not hard to arrive to our campuses. I'm not living in Barcelona city, for example. I'm living quite far, we can consider, and it takes 1 hour and a half. Well, 1 hour, 20 minutes to arrive. So I'm not living in Barcelona, but in Barcelona, I think that maximum it could take half an hour to arrive because we are in a really nice area with the easiest connections, the best connections. That's true that our colleagues from admission services, they are really open to have interviews, well, or discussions with the students when they are looking for an apartment or they are looking for a residencies. We also have a map prepared with which kind of residence. They are really close. There is one that it's like 5 minutes walking. Another one, it's like 15 minutes walking. I'm not talking even like taking public transportation. So if you go by underground, it takes 5 minutes. So I think it's at the end, I don't know, the weather in Barcelona, it's pretty good. We used to walk. So I think like if we compare Barcelona to London, for example, live close to somewhere which is also in the city center, it could be a bit more difficult, no? And everyone is mentalized that you need to take a public transportation. But here, even like bikes, for example, or these electronic scooters. We also have scooters like public scooters that you can take it and you can come. So then regarding how much you need. What is the funds that you need in order to look for an apartment or for a residence? Regarding Barcelona, the first question is ask yourself how much you can spend. If you don't mind to share like an apartment with other people, you can find rooms for 450 euros with sharing bathroom, maybe 500, 550 sharing your bathroom, but you will have, of course, like kitchen, etc. in a good neighborhood. So I think it's not really expensive to live in Barcelona, but that's true that you need to be smart. You need to begin to find an apartment as soon as possible. So we always recommend with Irina to book for an apartment or for a residence as soon as you reserve the spot. I know, for example, residencies, sometimes they are like fully booked. For example, I know that since July, some residents, they are fully booked. And right now I can say it's impossible to find a residence for October intake because it begins in 3 weeks. So, and even at the beginning of the month, it was challenging. But it's not difficult to find an apartment. I always recommend, and we got a lot of students that what they do, for example, if they begin in October, keep in mind that when someone leaves an apartment, the maids, they used to find someone else fast, and also like the landlords. Yeah. So the owners of the apartment. So maybe if you want to join in October, you can begin. I recommend you to come here in June, July to visit them. So you can take 2-3 days. If not, go to an agent. Never book like particular to a particular and send money. Okay, it's my recommendation because say, okay, the apartment is cool. I even make like I don't know, an online tour with them. Don't do it. Okay, is my recommendation. But that's true that it depends on your budget. But you can see now that you have a lot of options.
Irina?
And if I may add, yeah, just to like overall the cost per life, it will be 1,500 per month for the accommodation, books, meals, transport, and etc. So approximately you will need, as before it was 1,000, 1,200. I think right now with the inflation, it will be a bit 1,400 per month to live comfortably, not including shopping and clubs, of course. This is a part who does what, but definitely for the accommodation, as Arola said, it can rely for shared apartment from 500 and up to 1,000 euros per month, depending where it is, the location, etc. But it's a good thing that Arola also mentioned that we do have accommodation officers. So whenever a student is finally enrolled, our accommodation officers contact you and provide you the trustworthy website and trustworthy agencies that all have English-speaking representatives, and definitely those will be also helpful if you come. And also very important to search something at least 3 months before, as Arola said, because we are based in very big cities that have a lot of tourism, have a lot of schools as well, and accommodation goes very fast. So as Arola said, right now it's fully booked.
And Gala, I think that blends in really nicely. We had a question earlier, and I think that Irina there summed it up perfectly about how much things cost from a student's perspective. Can you tell us, we don't need to know numbers, but how you go about your everyday life as a student at EU Business, how much you can, because part of life being a student is going out, socializing, seeing your friends, going out to nightclubs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Day-to-day life, is it expensive? How do you cope with that? How do you budget? And is there help available?
So in Barcelona, I can definitely tell you that yes, it's true. Depending on what your budget is, if you, for example, what happened in my case is that I was going with my friends, and me and my friends rented a flat together. So the cost is more or less, it depends and varies where you're located. If you want to be in an expensive neighborhood, if you want to be in a less expensive neighborhood. So it all depends on actually what you want and what you are willing to, like what type of neighborhood you want to be in, how far do you want to be from the school, if it doesn't matter to you. If you want to be close to the shopping malls, if you want to be close to the clubs. So it depends, it all depends. So in my case, for accommodation, I was spending around 450, and it was a very big apartment. We were located around 30 minutes, like Arola said, from the university, and 30 minutes door to door. So like the bus ride was around 15 minutes, 15 to 12 minutes. We were located in Plaza España, which is one of the, I think, and you are going to correct me if I'm wrong, you guys that live there full time, but it's a good neighborhood. It's it has everything, like everything in Barcelona, I feel like. And you're close to everywhere. So like it's still in the city. And this is where I'm saying, like it's 450 for accommodation if you want to share. If you don't mind sharing your kitchen, if you don't mind sharing the bathroom, and if you're comfortable with the people that you're living with. Now, for expenses, so how do you budget? In my case, I was always eating at home or taking my food to the university. I was going to my house, preparing like meal prep, everything at home, so that I don't have to spend a lot of time cooking every day, and taking it to the university. And this gives me a little bit of savings, so that I can actually budget to go to, I don't know, in the weekend, if I want to go with my friends to a restaurant, or if I want to go to a club, it wouldn't be as hard. Also, like the nightlife in Barcelona, there are many options where you don't have to spend a lot of money. So like if you want to go out, if you want to go to clubs, they have lists where you can enter clubs for free up until a certain hour, obviously. So you have to, I think part of the student life, and this is not something I think that the university provides, you know, hey, the free lists of clubs. But I feel like as a student, you need to find the best options. Like you need to do your own research as well if you want to have a good time in the city that you're going to. So like I feel like EU Business School, they give us as well, like in my when I was studying, we have discounts as well for certain restaurants or museums when you're going as a student. You present your student card and like they give you discounts, and this is something that is important as well. But as well, you need to focus yourself and you do a little bit of research and like manage your finances. It's not hard. If you want to have a good time and you're responsible with your finances, having a good time and studying abroad in Europe shouldn't be hard.
Excellent, thank you for that. I'm going to wrap up with both Irina and Arola. We mentioned it in the presentation. When are the next intake dates? How do people apply? People are really listening and watching, going, what do I need to do now? How do they go about it? What are the next steps?
Yes, just before maybe Arola will answer this question, to add to the gala, besides whatever is gala is actually mentioned right now, we do have a student board, which is also, I think, very helpful for the students when they arrive, because we totally understand that everyone arrives from around the world. I hope you guys can hear me.
Yes.
Yes, okay, oh, got stuck for me a bit. So definitely student board is actually students who are already studying with us and help the current students with stuff like that, like maybe some recommendation for which phone plan to buy or which shop to use, something that very detailed and internal in the city. So the student board is actually, besides our staff and academic staff, it actually helps and support our students with this information as well. Yeah, just to add this, yeah, and Arola will answer. Yeah.
Arola, would you like to elaborate further in the next intakes, how they apply and so on from there to wrap up?
Yeah, next intake January 23, March 23, and October 23. Okay. So if you don't need to apply for a visa, you can apply until 1 month before the beginning of the intake. If you need to apply for a visa, it's 3 months. Our personal recommendation, don't wait 1 month before and 3 months before, because in some embassies it could be challenging to find, challenging to receive your visa. Keep in mind that you are not the only person who's planning to move from your country to Spain. And also it's challenging, you already mentioned, to find accommodation. Our personal recommendation is begin 6 months before the beginning of the intake. Why? Because you are applying, you are sending information, you are sending your application, we are contacting you. Then we try to find a gap in your agenda, in our agenda, to arrange our first meeting. Then we do an interview. You will need to prepare the document, send it to us. Sometimes you need to translate it from other languages, sometimes not. Then we will check that everything is correct and we will send it to review. And it could take 1 or 2 business weeks to have an answer. And then you have 2 answers to reserve the spot. So it's not a long process, but it could be long if you don't have the documents that are necessary. So for us, it's important also that you contact the embassy sometimes, because in some countries, it could be a bit challenging to have the visa in 3 months, honestly. I think that if you like the risk, let's do it and try it in 3 months. So our recommendation is to do it always in advance, but that's true that in some places it's enough time. Okay, so for me, it's 5-6 months in advance.
Superb. Thank you for that. Very much appreciated. We're going to have to wrap things up just because we're coming up to that 1 hour mark. A huge thank you to Arola Irina, a huge thank you for participating in the Q&A. It's been really insightful and great to have you. Thank you. And Gala, thank you for taking the time today for coming on here and giving us student experience. So a huge thank you to all of you. But for the time being, we'd like to say thank you and bye-bye. We'll hopefully see you in a not too soon future. If anyone has any questions about EU Business School, anything we've discussed today at all, we have all your details. We will be reaching out to you via email regardless. So please respond to that email, whoever contacts you, and we will do our very best to make sure that between the 3 members of staff from EU Business School and myself, we reach out to you and we answer your question. What is postgrad.com all about? So in case you haven't watched one of our sessions before, we're the #1 postgraduate website in the world for postgraduate courses only. We have 10 million people that have studied and found our website and used that website to find their perfect PG program. A choice for over 200 countries for you to study at. We've just spoken about 3 top ones: Spain, Switzerland, and Germany. Partnerships with high caliber international scholarship providers. EU mentioned earlier on, EU Business School mentioned earlier on that they don't offer many of their own scholarships, but they do work with third parties and they do accept many different third-party scholarships. So please head over to our website to find out more information about what is available. The best advice on everything related to accommodation, visas, career, English language support, all things we've discussed today during the presentation and the live Q&A, and eligibility to win one of our £500 bursaries. Now, if you're watching and you're interested, it won't clash with anything else. So please head over to our website and apply. But for now, a huge thank you to everybody at EU Business School. I know I've mentioned it already, but that was a great session and we look forward to seeing you all very soon. But for now, thank you. Take care.